Back to Pythagoras. So Pythagoras understood numbers as a quality of being as well as a quantity of the material value. Therefore, mathematics became a tool through which we could appreciate creation, the universe, and ourselves. Musical harmony was also a sacred part of this knowledge. For example, they use a method called harmonics when they build bridges, so they could sway with the winds and not buckle under pressure. We have geometry, which revealed divine proportion and divine wisdom. Feng Shui. Even in Feng Shui, numbers are used. How would you be able to work out the chart of one's house without using mathematics to work out the directions and the degrees? So personal mathematics helps us to discover the workings of our being and helps us to see the divine wisdom within ourselves. For example, number 1 is not just the digit, but it is also a character symbolising a beginning stage of independence, of leadership. Just as the number 2 is more than merely the second number, quantifying 2 objects, but it also implies the philosophical concept of a pair, of cooperation, of a relationship beyond the individual. At this stage, I now have to mention Leonardo da Vinci and his Vitruvian Man, the most enduring symbol of health and wholeness and used for the study of anatomy. Leonardo da Vinci lived in the 15th century. He had a keen eye and a quick mind. His inventions led to scientific discoveries, and yet he never published any of his ideas. He was vegetarian, loved animals and despised war, yet he worked as a military engineer and invented many deadly weapons. He also noted that the Earth revolved around the Sun 40 years before Copernicus did. I love doing all this research. Look at all these different paths it can take you. Just love it. All right, now let's look at the formula of pi. Other names for pi are golden ratio, the golden mean, or divine proportion. This golden ratio is based on a series of numbers known as the Fibonacci sequence of numbers, where the next number in the sequence is the sum of the earlier 2. For example, 1 plus 1 equals 2, 1 plus 2 equals 3, 2 plus 3 equals 5, 3 plus 5 equals 8, 5 plus 8 equals 13, and so on. The growth rate between each number is this golden ratio formula, the growth rate of which is 1.618. Geometrically, this sequence forms a perfect spiral that is intrinsic to nature. We see this in shells, in plants, even in our DNA. Look at how a human grows. Does the body grow one limb at a time, or does it grow in proportion? This formula was used to build architecture such as the Pantheon and other structures of the day. Even Leonardo da Vinci used this in his formula, in his artworks. It is the most pleasing proportion to the human eye. Some mathematicians feel or believe the pi formula may be a secret code, or nature's secret that reveals coordinates of nature in our universe, because of this ideal rate of growth of objects in nature. Here is another example of where mathematics is used to look beyond the quantity value. The meaning of the pentagram also has connections to the pi formula. Pent means 5. This comes from the Greeks. Have a look at the length of one of the star points. It's meant to be the same length as the centre part and back out to the outer point. You can also see another pentagram in the middle section, in the centred part. In the tarot, this 5-pointed star with 5 angles is called the pentacle, which symbolises the head, 2 arms and 2 feet of man spread eagle. The circle around the star is the universe protecting the man. Therefore, this pentacle is used as a protection symbol by many today. It also looks much like the Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man. I also have to bring up the Pentagon in Washington, America. It has this same shape. Coincidence? I don't think so. This shape is a highly auspicious symbol with highly mathematical structures and proportions. Now we could even be touching on Freemasonry and their knowledge of geometry, which is a whole other subject, which we don't have time for today, but I definitely encourage you to do more research in this area. You will learn more secrets. Okay. Let's move on. Now let's look at the number 0. The 0 brought us the microchip. We have the Hindus to thank for this digit. Where would we be without it? By the way, the Hindus also have Vedic mathematics, which is a wonderful form of mathematics, enabling the individual once again to understand the laws of nature. It is also used for health, healing and well-being. Vedic mathematics has definitely many other secrets, so I encourage you doing research in this one as well. Over the centuries, there's been a lot of fear attributed with the 0. Look at the year 2000 and the Y2K, remember? Planes were meant to fall out of the sky, computer systems were going to crash. People thought the world was going to end. And a lot of people made a lot of money from this fear as well. How do you think people reacted in the year 1000? Too funny to think about, or too scary to think about? One more thing I'd like to mention about the number 0. How many people here saw the movie Apollo 13? Yeah? Great, thank you. If you remember, in the Apollo 13 spaceship, it went to the moon using the computer system of 1 and 0 digits. They had some major glitches on that spaceship, and the astronauts had to work out the mathematics manually using this 1 and 0 system, so they knew what angle to point that rocket at so it wouldn't burn up on re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. What pressure! So now you all must see what tension I'm having here on stage talking to you. By the way, today your mobile phone probably has, well, not probably, has more technology than that Apollo 13 rocket ship did going to the moon. How amazing is technology or mathematics today? All right, now let's look through the numbers 0 to 9. So we'll have a quick understanding of the vibration and the energy of each number, and then we can apply these numbers to a practical exercise with volunteers from the audience. If you have pen and paper, you can welcome to write down as much as you can and start building your notes. Okay, some numbers to describe the 0. The Om, the primordial sound, signifying deeper knowledge and deeper understanding. It shows cycles, therefore it's an infinite number. A return to the beginning. It means all or nothing, no thing. It is the seed. Number 1 is about trusting in oneself and your willpower. Number 1 people have leadership qualities, initiative and responsibility. They need to be the boss and have their own business. They may feel alone. They say it's lonely at the top, but they are not lonely because they are always inventing something. They are independent, have originality and uniqueness. Number 1 is a very active, masculine, out there energy. Didn't work. Yes. Number 2 is the balance, the scales, the balancing act, choice, waiting and patience, a sharing mentality and fair play. They are cooperative, diplomatic and they love peace and harmony. Equality, which is a really good word for number 2. This is what we all want in relationships, equality. Number 2 is a passive, feminine, very intuitive and a psychic number. Number 3, 1 plus 2 equals 3. It gives birth to something, therefore mother creation energy, depicting creative potential growth, expansion and fertility, expression, communication, abundance and unconditional energy. Number 3 people may be entertainers. They're humorous and witty, very versatile and adaptable. Too much number 3, we have scattered energy. Number 4 is a very focused energy. It reminds me of the 4 legs of a table: foundation, stability, steady, security, structured and permanence. Organisation, practical and ordered. If number 3 is all about unconditional, number 4 is about conditional. The father, therefore the authority figure. Too much 4, we have the square, restriction, limitations and boredom.